I get this email from Jeffrey Deitch, and he say, "Dear Mr. Pantaleone, I'm Jeffrey Deitch. I'm a gallerist in New York, and I'm visiting Palermo." That was like, "Dear Mr. I'm Pope Ratzinger. I'm a Pope," was something. So everybody knows Jeffrey Deitch.
Benvenuti a Ciao Bella. I'm your host, Erica Firpo. For the past 20 years, I've made my home in Rome, where I've worked as a journalist contributing to publications including Afar, Washington Post, Lonely Planet, and Travel and Leisure. I love sharing the stories of Italy's pioneering creators, and I'm bringing these stories directly to you on Ciao Bella. Every week, I'm joined by contemporary artists, heritage artisans, designers, culinary experts, innovative aesthetes, and more. At the crossroads of evolution and tradition, the past and the future, they are working and creating to define and redefine 21st century Italy. Join me as we see Italy through their eyes. If there are two things in life I can't get enough of, it's contemporary art and Palermo. I know what you're thinking. Those words may not go together, but gallerist Francesco Pantaleone joins me to tell you otherwise.
We can start with the name of the city, which is Palermo, and it came from the Greek panormus, that it means all harbor, no? All port, tutto porto, no?
Yep.
So the city is connected with the sea, and it means that it's connected to the travel, and it means that it's a place that don't want to remain isolated. And we had a long story of people traveling through Palermo, from the very ancient story, from the Arab, from the how can I say, the Roman, and then the more recently Spanish and French, and then we had Goethe in the 18th century, and all the Grand Tour, the German and the British traveler. And so it's a story of connection and of meeting culture and meeting people and welcome person and welcome and get something and reciprocal. Do you say
reciprocal? Exactly.
And so I think that if you want to talk with somebody, you need to have a common language. So English is useful, but it's just a language. So when you need something more, you need a mental connection. And contemporary art create a kind of mental connection. It's a religion in a way. We are adapted to this religion. We have our saint, the artist. We li veneriamo. When you meet a collector or an artist or a gallerist, you already know who is in front of you in a way, no? You already have something connected, and it's easy to go ahead, to go over that point. When you meet a person which is not connected with contemporary art, it's difficult. I mean, not it's difficult, but it's a little bit less simple, because you have to create the conversation. You have to find the common, can I say, connection. But contemporary art, it's like it's something that abrests you, put you in a special position, and connect you immediately, because you speak, you have the same, how can I say, language, and
You speak the
in
same
a way
language,
the
yeah.
same approach to. So this is the, a little bit the can I say, the principal points of my personal experience.
I like how you said that. That warms my heart hearing that. Like that makes me feel so good, because I do agree. I agree with you. It's like a lingua franca. Speaking, you were telling me that you're having some, like you are. I feel like if everybody, I'm not going to give everybody your phone number, but you're the kind of phone number that everybody needs to have when they come to Palermo, because everybody should spend a time with you.
We had the opening January 13th, the new exhibition. The name is Come Casa, and is reproduce like a private home with a collection of art, including some antiques furniture and some design furniture, and of course a lot of contemporary art. So I recreate uh, like my home. That was my 20 years ago when we started with the gallery. It was a home gallery. So it was like we was living, having some old furniture from home, and a lot of contemporary art, and we invite our friends and collectors, and that's the way we started in 2003. So we
Did you start that
recreate
in Milan,
all
or
the.
did you start that in Palermo?
We started in Palermo.
Oh, okay.
Palermo is the region. Palermo are the roots. Yes.
I love your gallery, and I know that your gallery is next to your family's store, correct?
It is correct, but unfortunately, my father closed the shop in July of last year. After
Okay.
more than a century, the business wasn't so good, and they closed, unfortunately. After more 170 years, they started in 1905.
So are you taking that space, or is that going to be something else now?
It's no longer in a family, and unfortunately, that's sad because it was part of the family history. But in a way, I already left that business 10 years ago because I choose the gallery has turned 20 years, but for the first 10 years, I was sharing my time between my family business and the gallery because my working at my family business supported a lot my gallery. In the early years, it was very hard in Palermo, no collectors, no. So I was sharing my time. I was working very hard between the shop and the gallery. And then 10 years ago, in 2000, that was 2012, 2000. I started. I left my family business, the shop, and I gave all my attention, all my energy to the gallery because it was the right time. So I already left that business. I'm sorry, but it was already another story.
Yeah, this story for you had ended. That's amazing. I think that to think about that, your gallery, Francesco Pantaleone, has been around. You started it 20 years ago, and like you said, 20 years ago, the scene, the art scene in Palermo was a lot different. Can you tell me what you've seen over the years, and what it's like now? Because I mean, and I'm
Sure.
talking contemporary art, because
Um,
I think a lot of people, when they think about, well, they don't think about contemporary art. Most people don't think about contemporary art when they think about Palermo.
yeah. Um, my I have to say my decision to start a contemporary art gallery in Palermo was obviously strictly connected to my experience because after my military service in Rome, I moved to New York and I started to work for Gagosian Gallery. After that, I had some
I had
problem
no
with my
idea.
back, and I moved back to Palermo and I was thinking uh, to take a little bit care of my body and then move, returning in New York. But I met this amazing guy that now is my husband, and I decided not to move back to New York. I decided to remain in Palermo, and then as I was living in Palermo, I was missing a lot the art, the contemporary art. I was sharing my life in New York.
You decided you wanted to resume back. You wanted to return to art. So you met your future husband. You were in Palermo.
Yes, I decided to remain in Palermo to share because I was a bit because I was thinking to meet the right person, and it is the right person because it's still beside me. But after that happened in 2000, and I was working in my family business. I was missing contemporary art. Okay. Um, After New York, I moved back to Palermo, And I decided to open my gallery because I was missing all that my experience with the artists, with contemporary art. As I told you, in New York, I was working at the Gagosian galleries, and I was spending a lot of time at the visiting gallery, visiting museum, and of course, the offer in Palermo was much less. So the idea was to try to build a little bit um, oh, um, something that was similar to that life. Of course, but that was impossible. And so we started inviting artists to like residency, spending time in Palermo and creating some artwork. In the first time, that was uh, actually connected. The reason was that we didn't have enough money to shipping art, and so it was less expensive to pay a flight to the artist and host in our place. Our home was quite big, and create the artwork in Palermo. There was in the first like there was how can I say, in the first time the reason was strictly economical, but then immediately we realized that what that was conceptual, much more interesting to that much more connected with the energy of the place, with the love, with the territory, no, um, because Palermo is such a strong place with a lot of influence, a lot of energy, the sea. So the artist was probably how can I say, the artist was absolutely captured by that totalizing experience. No,
Yeah, I bet that
so
it was like
they start to
nourishing.
create art. Mm. Yeah, so artists fall in love with that. So we start to have this vision of working on the territory, working with local artists, Sicilian artists, young artists, new energy. That was very supportive for the gallery. And but beside this, we start to invite international artists to have a residency, and that's create a lot of connection with international collectors, international curators, um, international journalists. So that's contribute to create our, how can I say, our connection, our network. And there is a news in the story of the gallery that this year, from January of this year, we are hosting for 6 months, every 2 weeks per month, sorry, 2 weekends per month, we are hosting a school of literature,
Oh,
of scrittura creativa.
oh,
Yeah, the name
cool.
is Ithaca.
Ithaca. I'm gonna take a
Yeah,
look right
so
now.
they are from Catania.
Hey there, it's pretty obvious that I love Rome and everywhere in Italy. So I'm excited to share that I've compiled all of my favorite places where to go, eat, see, and stay into the coolest, easy to use guides for Saltite. Saltite is a lineup of curated personal guides by expert journalists and travel writers like myself. My guides, Rome with Ciao Bella and Venice with Ciao Bella, are the very best on-the-ground resources for the Eternal City and La Serenissima. Every place that I love and repeat visit, from restaurants, bars, and boutiques, to art galleries, archaeosites, hotels, and more are included. My guides are everything you need for Rome and Venice, and they are always up to date. The best part is that they support writers like me. Along with my guides, Saltite has great guides to Lisbon, Paris, Bologna, Philadelphia, and my favorite, Little Italy in the Bronx, by Ciao Bella guest Daniele Otteri. So visit Saltite and support a writer. It'll make you feel good. Saltite.com. SALTETE.com.
At that time that you were creating
Yes.
this, were there a lot of contemporary art galleries? Was there a contemporary art museum in Palermo?
No, there was nothing, I have to say. There was a few galleries, very traditional, um, that had a program of very, how can I say, like figurative artists. No, no new languages. How can I say? Very traditional, like oil paintings, figures, this kind of portrait, this kind of art. And the most the most important artist, the most considered artist of that time was Renato Guttuso, which was a Sicilian artist, famous for his Sicilian landscape, tetti di bagheria, lemon, this kind of paintings. So that it was for me, it was a big challenge to try to offer a new vision, to offer different languages, different media, starting to work with photography or installation or sound art. That was really a challenge for me.
I bet.
Yes, and then in 2005, we were invited at Artissima, the International Art Fair. So we accepted the invitation as a new gallery, as a young gallery. We get a good discount on the price, and we put a lot of art on a car, and we start we get a boat to Naples, and we start to drive in the direction of Turin, and that was our first art fair, bringing art from Palermo in a car, and that was a great experience. And in the art fair, of course, is an amazing moment that you enlarge your network. So we start to create new connection with new collectors, new artists, new curators, other galleries. So we start for the first time. It was part of a real an art system. So we left our island on the back. So we stopped to be an island, and we were connected. We start to be, we stopped to be isolated. That was the point. So people were very surprised to read next to the booth the name, the city Palermo. Say, oh my God, Palermo!
I bet.
Because since that time, the Southeast Gallery was in Naples, like Alfonso Artiaco. In Naples, there was a big tradition of contemporary art after Lucio Amelio. But at that time, Italy, the contemporary art in Italy stopped in Naples. That was the southest part. So Palermo was really surprising for collectors to discover there was a gallery in Palermo running a program, inviting international artists, have this kind of art. So it was a great experience, and we start to create a new connection. And Turin, I have to say, was very welcoming for us. And I think that we start to work with Giorgio Persano. We met Beatrice Merz. So I think in a way we create the first connection that a few years ago bring it Fondazione Merz in Palermo. And then we start to have a lot of exciting experience, and every person and a lot of person of the art world that was visiting Palermo start to contact us. So a day I get this email from Jeffrey Deitch, and he say, "Dear Mr. Pantaleone, I'm Jeffrey Deitch. I'm a gallerist in New York, and I'm visiting Palermo." That was like, "Dear Mr. Pope Ratzinger, I'm a Pope,"
Yeah.
It was something so heavy. I mean, everybody knows Jeffrey.
When did Jeffrey Deitch contact you?
Introduce himself. I think 2015. That was 2015, probably, because we had an exhibition of Terry Richardson. So Jeffrey Deitch knew us through Terry Richardson, I think, and so we had a fabulous. And that was at the end of the year. So we had a fabulous party for New Year's Eve with Jeffrey Deitch. And another time, there was Alexandra Mir living in Palermo. You know the American Polish artist Alexandra Mir, Swedish American artist Alexandra Mir. She was living in Palermo for 5 years, and we get very close. She is a very good friend of us, very supportive of the gallery, and I think in 2007 probably she was gonna travel to India, and then she told me, Franci, I have a flight to India soon, but I just get an email by Nicola Serota, at that time was the director of Tate Gallery, that he will come in Palermo. So I'm gonna host him in my place, but I will be in India. Do you mind to take care of him? And I said, of course, no, I will be very happy. So we met Nicola Serota and his wife, Teresa Glido. They are very nice, very, how can I say, direct people, not snobby at all. And it was a great experience for me. And so I have a lot of stories with David Hockney. Jenny Saville was living in Palermo, and
I was going to
so
say,
she involved us in a few. Yeah, what was part of this network in Palermo because I met Jenny when I was working in Gagosian. So they moved to when she moved to Palermo. She told me that she was gonna came, and of course I was a referent for her. She was needing, I don't know, for a photographer for her paintings, or a carpenter to create a crate for the painting. So she always, and so we spent the way it was, how can I say, a relation or like a friendship, but it was like a little bit something that was useful for her, for to have something local. And of course, she was very generous and including me, inviting me when some friend of hers was visiting Palermo, like the Damien Hirst or Jürgen Teller, and so we met Jürgen Teller, and Jürgen Teller took a portrait of us, of Francesco and me. We have a portrait by Jürgen Teller. So there are all these kind
oh, I'd love
of
to see that.
experience and opportunity.
I would love to see that portrait. I'm going to make you show it to me. When I first met you, you were just so open, and I think that's, it's your personality is amazing, because that's also probably why you've been, your personality is so wonderful. It's not just the art, it's you that's been able to create this really incredible network in Palermo. And I think that I want you to describe a little bit more of what you do, because it's not just a gallery. I mean, when I was there, I think it was a year and a half ago. I went to a show at your gallery. You were doing stuff with Zach. There was the show. Was it? I think we went to the event for Adrian Gagni, and then there was also the show at on the ground floor of that beautiful palazzo just behind, off of Via
Yeah.
Makeda. I mean, and everything had just a little
Oh
touch of
yeah,
Francesco.
the Berlingeri, the Palazzo Mazzarino,
Yes,
the Berlingeri collection.
yes.
Yeah. I'm a lucky person. I get involved in a lot of stories.
I think you're a connector. I think that's what I see, and I'm hearing from all of this is somehow I mean, you're just a natural connector, and you're able to expand. It's not simply the walls of your gallery at all.
No, you can't. I mean, it's you can't live inside a wall, inside a space. How can I say? You have to expand because that's the reason of art. I mean, to expand your brain, expand your knowledge, expand your experience, expand your life, and basically and live, create experience, create emotion. All the things you can't find in a room. You need to leave the room and go out and connect with people and share experience. This is fundamental.
I think you're absolutely right.
So,
And I was going to say, I think
mm,
Palermo is one of those cities where you
mm.
definitely have to be out. You have to take it all in. Aside from your gallery, Francesco Pantaleone Gallery, which is just off the Quattro Canti, um, if you could share some other places in Palermo that when I come and visit you in March, oh, I forgot to tell you I'm going to come visit. That we should go to, or anyone should go to, for contemporary art in Palermo.
Everybody should go for contemporary art.
Mhm.
Well, I have to say that Zach, the Fondazione Merz, is the most devoted to contemporary art. They are really offering in these years an amazing program with amazing artists, very political, very serious. They are really the best, in my opinion. And I have to thank Beatrice Merz and the team of Fondazione Merz, because they invest a lot of energy and a lot of love and a lot of money in this project. And they really elected Palermo. They choose Palermo as the right place in the middle of the Mediterranean, in a vision they have about the Mediterranean, the north of Africa. So there was a perfect combination of the vision of the Fondazione and, of course, of Beatrice Merz, and the location. So don't miss Fondazione Merz. That's absolutely for contemporary art. And then after that, I think that, of course, Palazzo Butera offer a unique experience. The collection of Massimo and Francesca Valsecchi and the director Claudio Gulli. This offer an incredible experience of visiting this ancient, how can I say, magnificent palace in front of the sea that hosted a fabulous collection of ancient art, art and craft, 19th century art, and contemporary, with a lot of Gilbert and George, David Tremlett, and another, the Poirier, and I mean, very, very high quality. That's and then if you have the opportunity to visit the Berlingeri collection, but that's a private collection, so it's you need some
You have to
good,
request.
you need to be invited, because they're private home. Yeah, it's a private home. They're very generous. They often open the palace and the collection, but it's still a private place. Yeah, this is my. And then there is a new little space for artists. The name is A Terra a Terra. It's yes, a group of young artists and curator that offer a very good program of lecture, video, and little exhibition. And they work in a precise direction of nature and like food. It's very special. I like them. I think they are working in a very good, and they already invited some international artists, even if they are relatively young. They already run a very good program.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to seeing that when I go back. You know, I think one of the things that I find every
Yeah,
time
a terra a terra.
A Terra Terra, every time I go back to Palermo,
Yes.
and subsequently every time I go back anywhere in Sicily, what I find amazing is that I think that there is a lot of contemporary art, a lot that people don't know about, or that it's just a little bit more quiet. You know, or it's been there and I just didn't know it. I mean, I think that one of the beautiful parts of one of the beautiful things about Sicily is that, like you were talking with the layers of history, the layers of history are also there are layers of art. There are things that are hidden. You know, you can go to Sicily and just see the archaeology. You can go and eat all the food you want, but then every now and then you'll come across, you know, there's contemporary art. There's a lot of cultural aspects that I think get overshadowed by its history at times.
Grazie del cuore, Francesco, and thank you, Galleria Francesco Pantaleone, for making this episode happen. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Ciao Bella. The editor of Ciao Bella is Mastro. Production manager is Jenna Spray. If you're new to Ciao Bella, take a peek at ciaobella.co, our all-encompassing Italy-focused website, where you'll find insider insight on contemporary Italy, and sign up for our newsletter for new episodes and articles. Follow me on Instagram at Erica Firpo, and follow Ciao Bella on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you like to listen. Leave us a rating or comment. Ciao, ciao!